This Hangout is on air live. Good.
We're live?
Are we live?
We are.
Let's see. You can't read. Are we live? If we're live, could someone leave a comment?
We are totally live. There it goes. It just came on. It just went live. Hey, Missy.
Are we live?
We're totally live.
Okay, good. There it is. Okay, I'm just pausing that so we have the watch room up. Okay, great. Okay, so looks like, okay, so we're live. We got some people. We got a couple people watching live, which is awesome. You think we should wait like just a few more minutes just for people to kind of come in? Lisa Marie?
Yeah, definitely. Let's just chit chat for any, maybe 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, 5 minutes, and we'll start with the intros and everything, so people have time. Okay, so it looks like we've got I am Milani here, Melissa Robles, Baby X Yummy. Hello, welcome Liz, Rue. Hello, thank you so much for letting us know that we are live. Like we said, if you missed it or you didn't hear it just a moment ago, we're just going to wait a few minutes for more people to pile in to the video because we got a couple people watching live, which is awesome. Hello, Kitty Makeup Doll. I'm so glad you're excited. Get excited, people. I hope you guys are. I would love it if you guys would tweet this out. Take the link above and tweet it out. Or take a picture and put it on your Instagram and let people know that we are live. Like, just take a picture of your screen, like with me and Lisa Marie's face on it, and just tell people, hey, Glampire Chat is going on now. Get your butts to YouTube, to Misstrenchcoat's channel, so we can all watch it together, because we want this to be an awesome, awesome time. Just some like rough details, I guess we can say right now while we're still waiting. We're expecting this will be like, what, about an hour, Lisa Marie?
Yeah, we're thinking about an hour, but we can. This is our first one, so trial and error. We're definitely open to feedback. I think an hour is a good amount of time for my live hangouts. I see a lot of book clubbers already commenting, so hello, Glam fam. You guys know that we do about an hour and a half, but I think we'll target an hour, and if there's still like FAQ maybe that does kind of some run over, we can kind of see how it goes.
Got it. Excellent. So for all of those, someone did ask in the chat, about an hour. It could run over a little bit, but that's what we're aiming for. So yeah, get excited. Make sure if you're taking pictures or tweeting out, use the hashtag Glampire Chat so that we can find it. I actually have a couple of screens in front of me. I've got my Twitter in front of me, and I'm retweeting any tweets that I see that have Glampire Chat going on. Also have Instagram up on my phone, and I know Lisa Marie is doing the same. So we are ready and waiting to see your pictures and your tweets and what you guys are doing and what you guys are up to as you're watching us tonight. So we're so excited to have you with us. It's like 9:03 right now. I feel like a radio announcer who just has to like fill time as they talk before we begin right now. So definitely you guys too, feel free to start sending your questions through. Obviously the Q&A is going to come in the second half of the video, but definitely, have your questions queued up, have some questions in mind. If you are not already sure, tonight's topic is side hustle, and so that is what we're going to be talking about today. I know it's a really important topic to a lot of you who want to get their Glampire started. So excited. It says I've got 34 people watching. So exciting. 34 people. Welcome all 34 of you. I'm sure I'm one of them because I'm watching from the watch room. So all 32 of you, because Lisa Marie's in there too.
Yeah, and while Alexis is talking, I'm going to be watching the comments, and when I'm chatting about my perspective on the side hustle, she's going to be watching the comments. So, definitely don't feel like you have to hold your questions to the end by any means, because, if you have a question that directly, like maybe I didn't make myself clear, we're definitely fine with, like, don't feel like you need to hold your questions is what I'm saying, but we did
hold them.
kind of a half hour for a full Q&A session.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just retweeting some people here who are leaving us comments. Claire Bella makes, my buddy Claire, she is not going to be able to be on. It is 2 a.m. in the UK, so she's going to be watching the instant replay later on. So this is live, but there will be a replay available on this channel. The video will just be up on this channel, and then I'm also going to export it, and we're going to put it on Lisa Marie's channel as well, so that if you want to watch it again, you have places where you can watch it. So it's so exciting.
Yeah, and one point of clarification, just in lessons learned from doing the book chats, is as soon as the live event ends, it's usually not live on the channel fully. Sometimes it'll stay still processing, because once the event ends, I don't know, Google, YouTube does some magic behind the scenes and finishes processing it and probably ups the quality and gets it ready to go on the channel. So there is a little bit of a lag, but not much. It should be pretty immediate. So yeah, the other thing to note too, if you're watching this, is you might hear us refer to comments that those attending live have made, and those comments actually don't transfer over once the video is live and the hangout is over. So just something to keep in mind if I say, Hello Kitty said, what are your thoughts on the best time to do your side hustle or something, and you don't see that in the comments. That's why. Just something that I've learned, that I was like, where are all the comments?
Yep, Gemma Pop 100, I'm seeing your comment, just in case it looks like you're curious. And thank you, Melissa, for the compliment. She said that we were looking gorgeous, so thank you so much, lady. Just going through. Hi, Darium. Everyone else, greetings, Gladys. Mary, hello. Angie, Bethany, Benita, Julie, Kayla. Just looking through names. Amanda, if I miss your name, please. It is just because we're looking through this and comments are pouring in, and just want to make sure that we are getting everyone in there. Okay, so 9:06, we're good to start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good to start. Okay, so welcome, my strange and charmed ones, to my channel for the first official Glampire Chat between myself and the beautiful and talented genius who is Lisa Marie Landreth of Paper and Glam. So what is Glampire Chat? Basically, this is going to be a regular chat that Lisa Marie are going to be having live on air through Google Hangouts, and it's going to be, obviously streaming through YouTube. I think our rough plan is first Wednesday of the month, right, Lisa Marie?
Yep, first Wednesday of the month, we'll be here.
Yep, and obviously that could change, obviously, if something comes up or whatnot, but that's the rough estimate. So if you guys want this to, if you want to know what the regular schedule is, that's what it is. And if you can hear Starbuck playing with a toy in the background, I'm really sorry. He's, a dog. I can't stop him from doing stuff. So, anywho, yeah, so this is going to be Wednesdays, first Wednesday of the month, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and basically this is going to be us talking about building our glampires, our empires, basically our online businesses, and everything that goes along with that. So that is what these chats are going to be about. I think we're going to try to theme them. So today's theme is going to be side hustle, getting started with your side hustle. If that's something that you are in the situation where you work and you need to do a hustle on the side, that's somewhere that definitely, Lisa Marie is currently in that position, and it's definitely a position that I was in for many, many years. So today we are going to be talking about that. Lisa Marie, do you want to add anything else to that intro that I missed?
No, if you're watching this on my channel, because theoretically we will be uploading the replay to both channels, I just wanted to say hi to my Glam fam, and hi Nicole from Orange County. Yes, this is live, and we are so excited to be chatting with you guys, and yeah, thank you so much for supporting us and encouraging us to do this kind of open forum. We really want this to be a resource for you, so we've set aside this time and kind of have gotten organized, because we get a lot of questions that we can't always answer, in the comments of our YouTube videos or in an email. I know, Alexis, you have a whole empire building program that really has built out of this desire that many of us have to live in community and kind of adapt that to what that means in 2015. And for a lot of us, we're discovering a virtual community and want to either create and connect with others, or build our own communities if maybe you feel like the community that you want to be a part of doesn't exist yet. Which then that's an amazing opportunity, and that's you you're like on the planet Earth to build it, because I know Alexis and I both felt like when we started our Glampires, we didn't feel like we had a community. I mean, I have a great community here in Denver, don't get me wrong. I have amazing friends and a vibrant community, but I didn't feel like I had a group of like-minded women that, loved reading and scrapbooking and business and, the things that really light me up. And so that's really what Paper and Glam grew out of. And I know, Alexis, you have a similar story, and you're going to get to that in just a minute. So we really just want this to be an open forum and obviously a free resource, something you can replay, and just a place if you have questions when you're building your business. And I didn't ever feel like I had a mentor who had done what I wanted to do. And luckily, Alexis and I have found each other, and we all day, every day kind of feed off of each other, and like we couldn't be more, grateful for that. But we just want this to be a resource. So if you're going about your day and like you have a question, like just write it down and bring it to the Glampire Chat, on the first Wednesday of the month. And yeah, we're here to be a resource if we can help.
Absolutely. And just one more piece of housekeeping, just so you guys understand the way this is going to work. So today we're hosting it on my channel to start off with, and it is going to be back on Lisa Marie's once everything is processed. But then next time, Lisa Marie is actually going to be hosting on her channel. So this is going to go back and forth for both of our channels. So no matter where you came from, you want to make sure you're subscribed to both of us. We will be telling you who is hosting when we kind of give you the lead up to the chat. So don't feel like you're going to be left out in the dark. But definitely, yeah, so that's how this is going to go, which is why it's kind of like back and forth. So it is now 11 minutes after the hour, so let's jump in after that wonderful introduction with the subject of side hustle. So since I'm hosting, I'm going to say that Lisa Marie, I flipped a coin and you get to go first, because Lisa Marie is currently in the side hustle. So I think that, first and foremost, get your pens and papers ready and your notebooks and your planners, because Lisa Marie is currently in it doing it, right? So you're going to learn so much from her. So Lisa Marie, take it away. Tell us about your history of your side hustle, how you got started, how you manage it. Go forth.
Sure. So I have been in a side hustle position for about the last 12 years. So I've been going to school full-time and working full-time, or building my own business and working full-time, or, I've always had a main gig and then kind of what I'm really working towards, essentially. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of my main background. The other thing that really has inspired me is my mom is like the original mompreneur. So I watched her work from home and build a business and really be able to do it all in a way that I look back at now and I am completely just flabbergasted at what she was able to accomplish. She put 3 square meals on the table. She built her business while I was at school. She was there to pick me up, and she is kind of the original Glampire builder. Her parents didn't speak English, so she grew up in the migrant camps, and she really, is the American dream. She has built a business from, in the least likely of circumstances. And so watching that growing up, I always knew that I wanted to be a business owner. And I didn't always know how that was going to take shape. And in a lot of ways, I'm still figuring out. I have the basics down and I know what it's going to look like and what the content is going to be. But, we never know what's going to happen in the next generation or even in the next year, what platforms are going to be available for us. YouTube is a relatively new platform, right? So this IT kind of way to build communities is really new in the grand scheme of things. So, Alexis and I learn something new every day. We're constantly chatting with each other, like, how do we do this? And oh my gosh, I need to do that. And, so we're learning right along there with you. So I don't, by any means want anyone to feel like I have this all figured out or Alexis has this all figured out, because we are learning right along with you, and so is everyone else. So if you're feeling behind, I can tell you, I work for a Fortune 500 IT company, and it's amazing. I love my career. I could not be happier. It really feels like God's provision in my life that I have a job working from home that doesn't sacrifice my career path. So, even being in an IT job and kind of understanding the inner workings of IT, I'm still learning something new every day. So yeah, we're all here to learn together. We're all here to live this and see how this evolves together. So definitely just kind of wanted to get that out there. I made a few notes here. So that's mainly kind of what I wanted to talk about as far as my story. Most of you guys, if you've watched my channel, which I see a lot of you are on, you know my story, so I don't want to get too far into detail, but I did make 5 bullet points that I think you really need to execute to pull off a side hustle. And they're things that I have been refining for the last 10 years, because I know that, Alexis and I were talking about this today. It's not in my plan to really quit my job in the near future. I know that a lot of you may be in a position where you really don't feel like your job is your calling, and that is okay. And that's kind of a divine call, I think, to branch out and start something new. But if you're in my position and maybe you're a full-time mom and that is a job in and of itself, but you want to do, and obviously that's not going away ever. You're going to be a mom for the rest of your life. So, if you're looking to fit it all in, I have 5 kind of points that I put together that I want to share with you after this. So I don't want to take up too much time with my story, because I definitely want to leave room for questions and leave room for kind of my 5-point plan to the side hustle. So unless there's any questions, and I haven't been reading them, Alexis, I'll turn it over to you and you can tell your story.
Got it. Okay, so just one thing that came up in the chat was someone asked what a side hustle was, just in case anyone is wondering. So when we say side hustle, what we're saying is we have a dream to start our own business, but we have a regular 9-to-5, or we have another job that is our full-time income, either because obviously our side hustle, our side job, what we want to be our main gig, is not yet producing enough money so that we make enough money, or in the situation with Lisa Marie, where Lisa Marie is making a nice income, but she has this Fortune 500 IT job that she really loves, and right now she loves having it as almost like a part-time job, so she's able to build her side hustle up, so that maybe one day, hopefully the plan is that she's doing it full-time, but in the meantime, having the full-time job is what the plan is for her. So that is what we mean by side hustle. So,
and just to clarify, I work full-time. I think it might have sounded a little bit like I work part-time. I work full-time. So I'm working a full-time job and working part-time, on my side hustle. So definitely want to make that clear. And as Alexis said, I've worked for 10 years to get where I am in my career. So that's not something I'm going to willy-nilly, give up. Not that that would be a bad choice, or I think it's a bad choice for Alexis or anyone else. But for me, that's not necessarily in my short-term plan. So go ahead, Alexis.
Yep, sorry. Absolutely, yeah. And I didn't, yeah. So I was saying is that right now her side hustle, her paper and glam, is like a side income for her. So for some people, you having your side business, right, may just be a side hustle. That may be the plan, right, to have it just be a side hustle. But then for other people, like for me, example, I took my side hustle from being just a part-time thing and I turned it into my full-time thing, because that was what my plan was. So that's what we mean when we say side hustle. So, okay, so another thing that just came up with Lisa Marie's story that I just thought was so interesting, and I don't think, we talk all the time, literally we talk all the time, and I still feel like I learn new things about this girl every day. So something that is similar between our 2 stories, which I think is very interesting, and literally we'll probably have a whole side discussion about this in another, a private chat between Lisa Marie and I. But the fact that both of us came from, I do find it interesting that both of us came from immigrant families, right? So Lisa Marie's mother, grew up in an immigrant community. So did my father. So I do think that that's really interesting. And my father's an entrepreneur as well. So I do think that this maybe comes from this concept of the American dream. This is something that Lisa Marie and I talk about a lot, the concept of the American dream, and how, starting your own business and starting an online business is kind of all part of that. But just something interesting that I think that I just wanted to point out. Don't really have a point to make with that necessarily, but just thought that that was interesting. So again, you guys have heard my story as well, but just a really quick recap. When I graduated college, 2007, I basically graduated into a terrible market. I was unable to go to graduate school that I had been accepted to because the market collapsed, and I wasn't able to get a loan, a student loan for that, because the program I was in was non-traditional. So I wasn't getting some people question, why weren't you able to get the government loans that are always guaranteed? It was because the program I was in was not a traditional program. So I wasn't able, it wasn't supported by the government, because technically the program was through a college that was in the UK. So I was not able to go get my master's as I wanted to, and I immediately basically went into the workforce, which is a little bit unexpected, but luckily for me, I did land a job at a Fortune 50 company, and I worked there for 55 plus years, basically, working in sales and marketing, which was something that was totally not my background, but definitely something that totally ended up helping me as I run my business today, which was, I think it was just kind of sort of like a meant to be sort of thing. And basically, I started my blog after college while I was in the job search, my first blog, because I wanted an outlet for writing. I thought at the time I wanted to work for a magazine. But as the space progressed online, basically I found that I really liked having this outlet of a blog, and then I discovered YouTube, and I loved having YouTube, and I've been in YouTube since like January of 2009 was when I started my account and posted my first video. Which in the beginning all I talked about was technology, which is what my blog was about at the time. But basically for 5+ years I was working at this, basically, and Lisa Marie brought this up, always learning, right? So we're definitely not two people who have it down to a science, and I think that that's probably the worst mistake anyone could think, is that they know everything and you think that you know enough. There's never enough that you can know, but that doesn't mean that you should not start your side hustle, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start your business because you don't know enough. Know it all. You just need to know enough to get started, and then realize that you don't know, you are never going to know enough, so you have to constantly be learning. So I can't wait to hear what Lisa Marie's 5 tips are, but definitely I have a few tips in there as well. One of them will be constantly making sure that you're learning, because that's a really big part of, getting a business off the ground, because there's so much so much unexpected. And I feel like as I was growing my business and my side hustle before I went full time, I definitely felt like, oh my God, I just lost the thought. I definitely felt like I had seen other people who are business people talk about, things like you always need to be learning, and there's things that you don't figure out until you're in the situation. And I was always kind of like being like a cocky college student, like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Then when you get into it and you're like, oh wow, that's what they were talking about. There's so much now when I watch business, if I watch another business YouTuber, or if I read a business book, or I watch some seminar, I get myself into a webinar, I realize, wow, that's what people are talking about. Like, I finally can understand it because I actually am running a business. So I definitely think that making sure that if you want to run a business, we're going to talk today about community, and how this is our community is so important to us, and that's how we have been able to build a business for ourselves. And definitely you want to make sure that you are kind of jumping in and learning as much as you can, because you really can there's never a cap where it says, oh, okay, I've learned enough. Absolutely not. So that's really probably my biggest lesson for people who are in a side hustle. And also, I would say, recognizing that your side hustle is a business, even if it's not your full-time business, and treating it like it's important, like it's a business, is really important, because that mindset shift is really something that can take you from not making any money to realizing, oh my God, there's so many ways I can make money. As I stand, and Lisa Marie said this in the intro, I obviously have my business program, Empire Building, that grew out of the fact that so many people were coming to me wanting to know what my secret is. Guess what? There's no secret. There's no secret to a side hustle. It's literally jumping in, figuring out what you can do, and learning along the way. Trial and error. And like Lisa Marie and I have tried a lot of different things and errored in a lot of different things, and you cannot let that deter you, because literally, what do they say? An expert is a person who has made all of the mistakes possible in a very narrow field. That really is true. You really don't know what works until you try stuff. So literally, I never, ever let failure or something flopping deter me. It just means, okay, check that box. I tried it. That one doesn't work. I can move on to the next thing. So definitely these are things that are really important as you're kind of building your side hustle and getting, in that mindset. Just if you want the side hustle, if you want it, decide that you're going to do it and decide that you're going to put in the time and effort, and you will make it happen for yourself as long as you are serious and not basically not lying to yourself, like telling yourself the truth. This is worth the time and effort. I'm going to do it. That's how you make that sort of leap and make it happen for yourself. So Lisa Marie, anything you'd like to add on that?
Well, you just reminded me that just in case there are maybe some new subscribers, we didn't really talk about the logistics of our story, because I know that, we've blogged a lot about it and talked a lot about it on our channels, but just kind of to rewind a little bit in case you're new to Alexis' story or you're new to my story, just logistically, and this is kind of a funny similarity between Alexis and I, is Alexis quit her job in May of this past year, so May 2014, correct?
Yeah.
And took her business to the next level and was able to generate a full-time income that has replaced her previous income. So huge accomplishment. Alexis has killed it. To go from quitting your job to generating a full-time income in replacing your income in less than a year, like what is that, 8 months? I mean, that is incredible. She has killed it. But I don't want that to be an expectation that like if I quit my job, like 8 months to make that money back is an expectation like I don't want to put on myself, and I don't want anyone else to put on themselves, because like Alexis and I both, ironically, we've been blogging since 2008. So we started our community building back when blogs were like rogue, right? It was like MySpace, like the sequel. There was no like communities, there was no professional bloggers, there was no professional YouTubers. That this wasn't something that existed for us. So I don't know that you're going to have to try as many things as we did, because we're here to answer any questions so you don't make some of the mistakes that we made, but also the platform is more established. We kind of had to live through, we both graduated. I graduated in 2008, and Alexis, you said you graduated in 2007. So, we graduated at the very bottom of the economy, kind of the upstart of like Web 2.0, I would say, and, kind of really had to dig it out, because like we both had issues finding jobs. I ended up moving to Denver, and kind of took a bit of a roundabout path. So, just kind of twofold. Don't think you're going to do it in 8 months, but also, don't think it's going to take you 7 years like it took Alexis and I either. You don't know. So
the climate is definitely much different than it was when we started, right? So I think that when we started, if you guys can remember back to 2008, if anyone was reading blogs back then, people were not full-time with blogs back then. It wasn't something that people did. If you were full-time with a blog, it meant that you were unemployed and looking for a job, and you did your blog full-time. So at that point, when I started my blog, I was full-time, if you want to go by that one. But nobody was, brands at that point had not realized how to leverage bloggers. They did not realize how to leverage YouTube. At that time, like currently I'm a YouTube partner. I think I've been a YouTube partner since 2010, I think. And back then, being a YouTube partner meant that you were able to monetize. Right now, you can start a YouTube channel and monetize immediately. It's totally different. Like the things that we've gone through from being kind of like a little bit more old school with this stuff and being like in the game for a while. I definitely think that I would say that starting out right now, obviously we can't make any promises to you, right, about like what the situation is. I do believe that someone starting out today can have success immediately in like less time than Lisa Marie and I did. I think that one of the reasons it took me so long to get successful was because, and like I said in my first little intro rant, I wasn't necessarily I wasn't thinking about my blog as a business. I was thinking about it as having fun building a community. I hadn't put that monetary like business aspect spin on what I was doing, right? So I was like, I had my job and I was perfectly happy at my job, and my job was providing me a good income. So I wasn't thinking, oh, I need to turn my blog into something that's going to be a business. I definitely think someone starting today could do it. You could do it absolutely sooner. Like Lisa Marie said, I have been able to replace my income in a span of like less than a year, basically. It was May. May would have been, like, we're in April now, so technically that's 11 months. But so like in less than a year, though, I have now fully replaced and exceeded what I was making before. So do I think people can do that? Yes, I do. Do you think that you should expect those results? Not necessarily. It depends on how much work you're willing to do. And it depends on how much fire you have in your belly, and it depends on how great you think your idea is and how much effort you're willing to put in. So I think that one of the things that you can like glean from Lisa Marie's story and Lisa Marie and I's stories are that it took us a while, but in that period of time, we were actually building a lot of things that we didn't realize we needed, right? So we didn't realize that the community that we were just kind of doing for fun, so like that was going to be a really big deal. We were slowly but surely investing in our businesses one way or another. I started in Blogspot, and then once I realized, oh, wait a minute, if you want to make money from your blog, you have to be on WordPress, like no doubt, that's what you have to do. So then a few years ago, I moved I think in 2012, I moved or maybe it was 2013. It was 2012 or 2013, I moved my site over from Blogspot to WordPress. So these were all things that I was making these choices to invest, buying nicer cameras, you know what I'm saying, so that I could film. That was always something I was doing every like year or so. I was always buying a new camera so that as the technology progressed, I was hopefully, like, you know, staying at the forefront. Not really. I wouldn't say that I was always at the forefront. I feel like now I'm finally at this place I'm supposed to be with my DSLR, but, you know, always investing, like slowly but surely investing. Now, you could turn around and you could start a blog and a YouTube channel and a shop right now, and you could invest in all those pieces. You could get all the information you need to get, like find a mentor, find like a program to join that kind of helps walk you through it. And if you have a really good idea for a product, you know, something that's really unique, you could definitely turn it into something full-time. But I would say that it's definitely, you know, Lisa Marie and I have definitely gotten to this place because we worked at it for you know, a nice chunk of time. But I do think it's something that's definitely possible right now. I definitely think that you'd have to be really strategic and really willing to work hard in order for it to pay off very quickly, but I still think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good segue into my first tip, if you don't mind, if I kind of want to tag on to what you said,
yeah,
just because it flows perfectly. So my first tip for the side hustle is do what you can with where you are and what you have. So a lot of questions Alexis and I receive are, do I need my own domain? What camera do I need? You know, what platform do I need to be on from the like WordPress, like Alexis said, or, you know, what platform is the best? Do I need to do a YouTube channel? Should I start my YouTube channel first or my blog first? You know, and those are all great questions, but start with what you have. Start with whatever you know concretely, start with that and build on it. So, you know, you can start a business with a pad of paper and a pen and, you know, drawing logos or writing down the brand that you want to convey, the experience you want to give your community or the, you know, the people who access your internet, wow, I can't talk, internet property. That was going to be intellectual property and internet property. So those are things, you know, always, you know, you can be refining. So definitely, like Alexis said, don't get bogged down in the details. I'm a person that wants to do it right the first time, and, you know, I'm Ty Bossum, so, you know, I started Paper and Glam in 2008. It's been Paper and Glam since 2008. I have had paperandglam.com since the beginning and really was able to refine my brand all through college, and I see some of you guys are just starting college, and I would definitely recommend a business major. All through business school, I was thinking about Paper and Glam, like how does this apply to Paper and Glam? How does this apply to Paper and Glam? And if you have that opportunity, take it. You know, constantly be thinking about how you want to build your business, because I personally believe the corporate model is antiquated, right? People don't work at a job for 50 years and retire with a gold watch anymore. It's all about, you know, a more creative space, and that's the place that we're moving into. So that being said, I see a lot of questions in the comments about, do I think that you need a college degree? Absolutely not. My mom doesn't have a college degree, and she built her business. She didn't even know English, right? So, you know, and she has built an international business. You can do anything. But do not put any barriers on yourself, because if you don't have the right camera, so what? Start where you are.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. I mean, obviously, you know, I've made videos before where I've told people, like, I've given people suggestions of what I think you should have if you want to kind of do that thing. Like I said, if you're really serious and you want to make money, like, immediately, and you're willing to put in the time and effort and money, I can tell you what to buy. Like, I've told people on my, I've made videos about this before, but you don't feel like you have to do that immediately, because if your goal is just to start a side hustle and start slowly and start building and just kind of like let that continue to roll and process on top of each other, make it bigger and bigger as you go along, definitely start with what you have. You don't need anything necessarily. I mean, if you're saying you want to start a YouTube channel and you don't have a camera, you're going to have to solve that problem, right? But, you know, you don't have to go out and buy the best camera today in order to start a YouTube channel. You can use, you know, your little, I started using a little handheld, literally like the teeny little Canon digital elf like handheld one that had a, I think it had like HD video, thank heavens. Oh, actually the one I used when I first started did not have HD because HD wasn't a big deal back then. So I was using like literally just like a small little camera that I would take to parties when I was in college. Like it was not like any sort of like high-tech stuff. So use what you've got right now. You definitely have tools right now. And when it comes to online business, there's nothing special you need. You need a computer so you can access the internet, right? Like, and set up a site. We know whether or not that's going to be on Blogspot or whether or not you're going to be able to invest and do WordPress. I do believe in, like Lisa Marie said, we're type A, type awesome people. So we're people that do like to try to do it right the first time. So if you have the ability to invest a little bit, that's not a bad thing at all, but you don't need to. You don't need a college degree to do anything that we're doing. You know, you don't necessarily need any special certifications or anything like that. So absolutely, I 100% agree. I would say that's probably the biggest question we always get is, what do we need to do it? You just need to have whatever you probably already have. Like you could probably make do with what you've got right now, and start small. Like you can do what you can with what you've got, right? And then move on from there. Another question, like I'm just going to segue off of that, just like another question that I get is like Lisa Marie brought up, like, should I start a blog first? Should I start a YouTube first? What do you want to start first? Like, it's up to you. There's like no formula for this. Like, I started my blog first, then I started a YouTube, but then in the middle of that I changed my blog and then like I rebranded my blog. So it's like, what really came first, the chicken or the egg? Does it matter? It doesn't really matter. What matters is what you have the ability to do right now. And the content that you want to produce, is the content you want to produce something that belongs in a blog, or is it something that belongs on YouTube? Or is it something that, and like we're talking about blog and YouTube, there's more other places out there. So do you love photography? And then you should be on Instagram, right? So it's like, it's not, maybe it may not even be a question of do you need to have a blog? It could be, I have a Instagram and I've got a Facebook page. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't even necessarily have to have a blog to start off. You don't. You just need a place. I do believe that you should have a place online that's yours. You know, so it could be a Facebook page for your business. Like a lot of businesses do just have Facebook pages. You know, to start off, just do what you can with what you've got, because, you know, these are all these platforms that are available right now, and they may change in the future. They may not be there in the future, which is why I think having a website is a good idea, and having a self-hosted website is a good idea, because you never know what's going to happen. But do with what you have. Like, just do with what you've got. Start with where you think you should start, what makes sense for you, because let's be honest, if you're starting this as a side hustle, I don't think you're expecting to make $1 million tomorrow. You know that you're going to be doing this slowly and surely. Start somewhere, just somewhere. It doesn't have to be anywhere specific. Like, you don't have to do what I did. You don't have to do what Lisa Marie did. You guys could have a completely different business model than us. You don't have to feel like in order to be successful, you have to do what we did, because there's so many different stories and case studies of people out there who have successful businesses, and they run them from all different places. Like Lisa Marie and I have a shop that's associated with our blog. Yes, that's like a source of income for us. I know plenty of places where they just have an Instagram profile and they sell things. Like, I know vintage shops that sell things on their Instagram profiles, and maybe you guys are familiar with those types of shops, and these are legitimate shops. They make a full-time income selling vintage clothing off of a Instagram or off of like eBay. Like, there's so many different platforms where you can sell and do different things. Just choose the one that works for you. Do the research, figure out which one works for me. And that's how you begin. You start with what you can do. So,
yeah, definitely. And that's a good segue to what I would say my next tip is. And I'm going to do a whole video on this. So, if you kind of feel like things aren't quite fleshed out, this is live, this is informal, and I'm definitely planning to do like a produced video on this content if you're, worried that, there's questions maybe that we didn't get to today. This is just the first of many conversations. So we can have a whole different Glampire chat on technology that we'd recommend. Or I see some questions in the comments about business books that, we would recommend for those getting started. And, this is just the beginning of a dialogue. So to Alexis's point, the platform is immaterial. What's important is that you're executing consistently. So that's my second tip. Execute consistently. And maybe right now that means posting an Instagram picture every other day, right? And that takes what, maybe to set up the shot and post it and like plan it out in what, maybe 20 minutes. I mean, generously. Maybe it's posting to your blog once a week. When I was in the thick of my previous job, I was working 60 hours a week. I was on call. I was kind of paying my dues to gain the experience to get to the job I'm in now. And I legitimately, my goal was to post to my blog once a week, and that was executing consistently for me. That's what I could do in that season. So if that's you, do what you can in this season, but in whatever platform you choose one and execute consistently. And you can change the plan as you go along, as long as your community knows what to expect, right? If you post once in November and then 4 times in December and then once in January and then 8 times in February, that's a really great way to lose your community. So whatever you're doing, make absolutely sure that you're executing consistently. That's much more important than the platform. And then if you're executing consistently, then you need to consider an editorial calendar, which I know Alexis can tell you a lot about, and we can have a much broader topic on probably any of these points, but much broader discussion rather, but could plan out what you're going to post and execute, subject to change, but sit down and have a plan and batch your work accordingly.
Yeah, so she said batch your work, and I'm just going to make a short point on that. A lot of people are probably sitting there wondering, okay, so I'm going to get started, I'm going to do this. How do I find the time for it, right? And I'm sure Lisa Marie is going to talk about that later, about that. But, something I've always preached is batching your work. When I did have a full-time job, what I would do is I would create my editorial calendar, and just one Saturday when I had the time, I would say, okay, the rest of the day, all I'm going to do is write my blog posts, take my pictures, and schedule my blog posts for the next month. And I would post, at that point I was posting like 3 days a week, but that would be it. I knew what I was going to write about. Once I knew what I was going to write about, it was easier for me to write. And then once I had the things written, I knew what pictures I would need for it, right? And then I would just take everything, I batched all the work, and then I would put it up one by one. After I did all my writing, I took all my pictures. Then I would put the pictures and the posts together, and I would schedule them. So that's like batch your work, like get done what you can. If once a week is what works for you, then that's what you have to do. Like reiterating consistency, so important. You can't just go, you can, you're just not going to get anywhere very fast. It's much better when you stick to a consistent schedule. You could start a blog and then, post like a whole bunch in 1 week and then the next week not so much, but part of developing a community and part of kind of establishing viewers that are going to come back is when they have a level of trust with you that they know something's coming next week. Think about your favorite TV show, right? I just watched the season finale of Walking Dead. Leave me comments if you guys watch that in the chat. But yeah, so we all know that, right, Sunday night at 9 on AMC is when you watch Walking Dead, right? So think about TV shows. If you never knew when your TV show was going to put out a next episode, how frustrated would you be? You would probably not want to watch that show anymore. But think about your business that way, and think about when you're creating content that way. Have a regular schedule. Make sure people know what it is. I have a regular schedule. Lisa Marie has a regular schedule. Get in the habit of developing a regular schedule. And it doesn't have to be for a blog. Like Lisa Marie said, if what you can do is post an Instagram picture every other day, do that. If you want to post to a Facebook page twice a week, do that. Just make sure people know it's coming. Because when you tell them it's coming and you make them the promise, you have to deliver. And that's what that promise and fulfilling on that promise is what gets people to continue coming back. So, Lisa Marie, take it away with your next point.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And just one more point on what Alexis said. It's don't worry about posting like at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Luckily, we're not in prime time, right? This is YouTube. So for me, I have to keep I have the job that pays the bills and keeps me sleeping indoors gets my priority. Simple as that. So, sometimes my video goes up on Monday, sometimes it's Tuesday, and sometimes, I'll upload a video and YouTube will decide not to publish it for like 24 hours because, it's YouTube, it's a public domain, or you know what I mean. It's everyone is uploading to this tool. We don't have like contracts with YouTube that say they need to publish our video at 9 a.m. So just have grace with yourself. As much as it's important to post consistently, you guys know that if I say I'm getting the spring home tour up, it might not be as soon as I wanted to because life happens, but it's coming and I'm going to deliver for you, and I might not post the most. Like Alexis posts twice as much as I do, and that's great for Alexis. Like in book club, we were talking good for her, not for me. That's not where I'm at, and that's okay. I can look up to Alexis and say I want to be there at one point, but right now this is where I am. And if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to execute on it, and it's going to be in that general ballpark. But don't beat yourself up. And I am guilty of this, which Alexis knows. If I don't execute because life happened, it just spirals me a little bit. And so don't do that to yourself. If you plan your post and it doesn't for Mondays and it doesn't go up to Tuesdays, you're still executing. You're still executing consistently, and your community who is there to see you and is just going to appreciate that you created content that they enjoy and that it's quality. Quality over quantity. Quality. Execute, and don't feel like it needs to be perfect, but please just execute quality content. Like I wouldn't recommend pulling like 10 images off Pinterest and just uploading them to get a post in, but quality content consistently, slow and steady wins the race. So moving on to time, because I know this is a hot topic and Alexis and I get so many questions on this. So my third tip for your side hustle is schedule your time according to your goals. So side hustle number one is that just metrics wise, right? We sleep 40 hours a week theoretically, or a week. We work 40 hours a week, and then we have 40 hours left. 20 of those hours are going to be self-care, right? We're going to need to run our errands and take showers and clean and cook and do whatever other responsibilities have to get done. So that leaves 20 hours for our side hustle, and generously. And let me tell you, 20 hours is plenty of time to do damage. Don't think you cannot execute because you only have 20 hours. If you have one day a week, like Saturdays, that'll work too, like Alexis said. So how I do it, and this is my personal schedule, is I work on paper and glam from 5 in the morning until 7:30, and I start work at 7:30. So that's my schedule, and that's Monday through Friday. I'm tired at least one day a week, and I don't execute probably one day a week on that, and I'll make it up on the weekend. And I have grace for myself, grace over perfection, absolutely. But find the time in your schedule. Maybe the best time for you is 7 to 10. Maybe that's the best time for your schedule. Maybe your freshest, I don't know, like right after you get home from work, that's what works for you. But find the time and schedule it, and then show up, right? Like 90% of success is showing up. So show up for that time that you're putting into your business, even if you don't know what you're going to do that day, or you're kind of out of ideas, which will never happen. You'll have more creativity than time, trust me. So just schedule your time and really map out your week. Every week, can be different, but at the same time, find out when you're most awake, you're most alive, you're most fired up, and pick that time. And theoretically, your business should be, this is kind of going to the next point, but your business should be something that lights you up, right? And it's easier for you to, it's easy to get up. For me, it's easy to get up at 5 in the morning because I'm going to get to spend 2.5 hours, sometimes 4 in the morning, because I want to spend 3 hours building my business and connecting with my community and seeing what is on the Paper and Glam Facebook group and connecting with you and creating content that I'm excited about. It's easy to get up or stay up late when I am making things that are really, changing people's perspective and getting those notes that say what you create has changed the way I looked at life. And once you get that momentum up, it's all about momentum. And once you get it, you won't miss that 5 a.m. alarm because you want to be there. You want to show up. You want to be there for your community. You want to execute.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I just feel like, and I totally agree with Lisa Marie, I would take time whenever I had it, right? So one of my tips was to batch my work so I get a lot done in a short period of time. Obviously, if you're a stay-at-home, if you're a mom or if you have family or you have a lot of different obligations, maybe you can't devote an entire Saturday to, doing work for your business. But steal the time when you have it, right? Like these are things that we have to make time for. We have to be prioritizing our business if we want it to actually go somewhere, right? So think about like what someone would tell you if you were going to like start a new like workout regime or like a new nutritional regime or something like that, right? You have to like get up a little bit earlier or cut something out of your day, or you have to manage things, right? And maybe it means that if you're a stay-at-home mom and you would like to start a side hustle, and you have to watch your kids and you have to be awake while your children are awake, it may mean that when they fall asleep, you have like an hour to just like whatever, like, just do a whole bunch of writing, do a whole bunch of whatever. You just have that time. You have to steal it whenever you can. So something I would highly suggest that you guys do, and maybe like a challenge that I'm going to issue to you guys, is I really do believe that when you plan it, when you literally plan it out, it gets done. It gets done more percentage of the time. So I would challenge you to say, get out your planner and sit down and make a list of ideas for posts, decide how often you want to post, and say, I'm going to write this post on Monday from 4 to 5. This is what I'm going to do. That's when I'm going to write it. And then I'm going to write my next post on Thursday from 7 in the morning to 8 in the morning, right? Schedule the time, know what you're supposed to be doing in that time, like just put it in your planner, put it in your phone, whatever method you use to remind yourself and to schedule your time. Literally plan it out. Say what content you're going to be posting to what different platform and what time you're going to take, and give yourself a reasonable expectation for how much time you need. Don't take too much time, right? So this is like one of the tips that I always talk about. Don't give yourself too much time, right? I'm always caution against this. If you really believe that a blog post will only take you a half hour to an hour to write, don't give yourself 2 hours to write it, because guess what's going to happen? You're not going to write it. You want to know why? Because you gave yourself too much time and you dilly-dallied because you kept thinking, oh, I have all the time in the world. No. Give yourself a nice tight deadline that's reasonable. Schedule it in. Know what you're going to be writing about before you sit down to write it. And that is how you're going to be able to get this stuff done. So that's my challenge to you. That is how I think you can fit it in. I think that anyone could find a half hour or an hour, once a week at the very least. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you can steal a little bit more time here and there. Maybe DVR your favorite show. You know what I'm saying? Maybe stay up a teeny bit later. Or, a lot of times I use my blog as my, or when I'm doing my work as like a distraction. Because like Lisa Marie said, if this is not like lighting you up, like if you're not excited to be doing this work, and if it's not something you're like loving doing, probably a little bit of a red flag for you. Like I'm not gonna like tell you like that like if you should like give up on it, but if you think that's what it is, but like I love working on my stuff. Like working on my stuff is like my favorite thing ever. Like how I spend my free time, guess what? Working on my stuff. So it's, sometimes like when I was, when I used to work in, even when I had a job, if I had a lull at work, and obviously this depends on what your work situation is, I had the ability to, okay, I've got a lull at work, I'm going to really quickly write a blog post. Because when it's something you love, it's inspiring you, and you should be doing it. It shouldn't be something that's agonizing. Like, it's probably a red flag for you if it's agonizing. So,
yeah. Go ahead. Alexis makes a great point. Don't think that, make an outline in your planner subject to change. You fit it in, right? I mean, Melissa and I have had many a midnight conversation, and we joke that we steal hours from the night, because if I'm like last night, I was up editing at the spring home tour literally until 1 in the morning, and I don't recommend that. I really recommend working from a place of rest, and that really goes into my fourth point is, everything in your life needs to work in, not everything, but design your life so that it works in support of your ultimate goals, right? So rest according to your goals. If you're not rested, you're not going to be able to create. Play according to your goals. Make sure you're getting out and living, but at the same time, you're not going to be able to go to every party and every movie. It takes sacrifice. But like Alexis said, if you want this, everybody has time, period. If this is who you want to be, and that's what really, I'm more of a long-term planner, and Alexis kind of keeps me in the present. But it's like, if I want my life to look different 5 years from now, then I need to live differently today. So again, grace with yourself, fit it in when you can, make a schedule, and then just get it done based on, what the week throws at you. No one's week goes like perfectly according to plan. I used to, when I was younger, I was like, oh gosh, I missed this, and I'd get down about it. And now it's like, no week no day goes according to plan, and that's normal. Don't think that, I sit here and, everything goes great and just like I never have disruptions or I never have to work late. Absolutely I do. And, I'm sure Alexis has been through that too, but, you just fit it in, you do the best you can. And at the end of the day, you go to bed and you say, I executed as best I could today for the circumstances in my life, then, that's a win. And then if maybe you see a pattern, my fourth point is you really need to work your life in pursuit of this side hustle. So for me, I know I need to have, sorry, I got distracted by Alexis. I thought she was like giving me a signal or something.
No.
I know that I need to work out 3 times a week at a minimum, or I'm not going to have the energy I need, the stamina I need, the creativity, and kind of like the spark I need to work full time. And then, there's days when I finish my full-time job and I haven't even started things for Paper and Glam. And it's like, I've got like 6 hours ahead of me, but I love it. And there's nothing I'd rather be doing, but I need that stamina. So, I could do a whole video on kind of like working your life in pursuit of your side hustle, but, everything in your life, eat according to your goals, sleep according to your goals, work according to your goals, play according to your goals, exercise according to your goals. Everything in my life is kind of done with this in mind because it's what I believe I was put on the planet to do.
Absolutely. I'm curious. I have a point I want to make, but I'm afraid it might be your 5th point. So can you go into your 5th point so then I can, if it is, I'm not like stealing your point.
Yeah, sure. And we kind of already talked about it earlier, and you touched on it too, and that's really fine. Is make your business the thing you would do if no one paid you a dime, right? This is not a marathon. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, right? So you need to be doing the thing that you want to be doing in 10 years from now. And if you're doing the thing that lights you up, that's going to fuel you. That's going to continue to build your momentum. So definitely, if I know that, my channel, just for example, like home decor and scrapbooking and planning, all these things I have been doing as long as I can remember. I mean, I can remember being 7 years old and doing some of these things. So, and I would do them whether I had a YouTube channel or not, right? So make your business about the thing that you would do if no one ever paid you a dime. You would be fine with it because you are doing what you love and you're doing, I'm doing what God's called me to do. And when you feel like that, there's no stopping you. So that's my last point, is really do the thing you would do if no one ever paid you, if it never made a dollar.
Yeah, that's such a good point. That wasn't what I was going to say, so I'm going to go into my additional point. But that is such a good point. If you guys think about it, like the way that was basically what I was doing for a really long time, was I was doing this thing that I just wanted to do for fun because my job that I had was not something that was fulfilling that creative outlet that I kind of always thought I would have. So I was doing it for fun, and then through it, without realizing it, built a community, and then all of a sudden I got kind of like woke up and realized, oh wow, I could be, there's potential for me to be earning income from this, from helping, like literally, I feel like my job is helping you guys. Like that's my job. Like if you said, what is Alexis' job? I help people. That's what I do. True story, my name, Alexis, in Greek actually means helper of mankind. That's what it means. My entire life, I felt like I was just someone who was meant to be helping people. So like Lisa Marie said that she feels like her Paper and Glam is her calling. This is like what I do. I feel like my job is helping other people. And I sell things. I sell planner inserts to help people. I sell, a program for online business based on the model that I've used, that's totally different than all the other like online marketing programs. Like I do everything completely unorthodox, and yet it works, right? So that, I've developed my own plan for that. These are things that like I just put out. Everything I do is, how can I help people? How can I help people? That is where I come from, like a place of service. And the point that I wanted to make earlier, and I think this is interesting because you're sitting here watching Lisa Marie and I talk. I think you need a buddy, right? I think you need a buddy. I cannot tell you how much better, and this is so sincere, my life has gotten and my business has gotten since I've met Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie is like my personal like mentor, personal like inspiration. Like watching her do her side hustle makes me so grateful for the situation that I'm in that I want to work 10 times harder. This girl, like the way that she like lives, she keeps me accountable. You know what I'm saying? This is something you need to find for yourself. And it took me how long to find her? You know what I'm saying? And Lisa Marie, when we first started, I know we've had conversations about this, we didn't think We didn't know that there was someone else just like us out there, right? So it's so important. You know, this is why we share our knowledge with you guys. We're trying to build this community so that you guys don't feel this way, right? We don't want you to feel this way. But I would say find a personal buddy too, right? We're here for you guys for sure, but you know, logistically, there's 2 of us and there's way more of you. We're not going to be able to be on the phone with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So you need to find someone who's at your level, who's doing something similar to you or in a way that you can look up to and partner up. So if you're getting started, like look around at the people you're talking to in this, like right now in this chat. And, you know, take a look and see if you can find someone who's talking about, you know, has a business that, or has a business model or like that's doing something similar to you, because you should probably pair up and become accountability partners. So Lisa Marie has become so important to me in my business that I really think that that's such a good tip. I wish I had one of her. I wish I had her years ago. Like, who knows, like, where I could be right now if I had her years ago. It just, you need someone that'll keep you, that also, whose mind is in the same place, right? So often, I feel like the people around me and my family and my friends, their heads are not in the same place as me. But Lisa Marie's head is in the exact same place. So when I go to talk with Lisa Marie, all we talk about is business. And you might think that's so boring, like, you guys, that's all you talk about business. We freaking love our business. Like, that's why we talk about it. So find someone who has that same similar passion as you, has that same similar goal as you. Pair up, be friends, get an accountability buddy, because it can be priceless. Priceless to have someone else who, just by talking like ideas out, like Lisa Marie comes to me with ideas, I go to Lisa Marie with ideas and say, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about this picture I'm putting up on Instagram? Like, we just learn from each other. It's almost like splitting the work, right? Is that there's so much out there to learn, so many business books, and Lisa Marie and I are like, we're like ravagers of internet information and books, but it's so much better to be like, Lisa Marie's like, oh, I read this book, and I'm like, I haven't read it, tell me what I need to know out of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you need. You need a buddy. And you can have more than one, but you need at least one. You need at least one buddy. That's like my suggestion. You have to have one. Best suggestion I think you can have for a side hustle.
I completely agree. And I actually had 10 points, but I distilled it to 5 because I knew I wasn't going to get to 10. And that actually is one of them. Having an accountability partner is everything, because I can tell you that Alexis, this girl, is so fired up. She has taken my business and helped me take it to the next level. You know, my photography has gotten so much better because Alexis said, hey, I really think you should get this lens. And, you know, Alexis came to me, hey, your video quality is a little better than mine is. And I'm like, oh, you need this lens. And so, you know, we're constantly like looking at each other's content and making constructive feedback, right, to build each other up and make each other better. And I want her to succeed as much as I want to succeed, right? Because, and going back to one of the points that you made that I think you thought I was going to make, and I thought about it, was that your business needs to be centered around helping people. You know, there's an old saying, like, you want to get rich, solve a problem. If you want to make money, you know, help people, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important to Alexis and I. We want to build a space where you can find a planner buddy to trade office supplies or build a business with, right? Because we didn't have that. So we want to build this space for you to connect with others, to learn, and to have a resource. And really, the income is secondary, but when you're doing what you love and what fires you up, and you're doing it with people that you love to work with, you can't lose. You know, worst case scenario, what, you had a ball with your best friend building a business, you know, like what could possibly, you know, you're going to win regardless, because you're passionate and you're in it. You know, we're in it to help each other. We're in it to help our communities. And, you know, that's what we're about. So look at your business and say, how is this going to help people? You know, I think it's easy to look at a lot of blogs, and a lot of it is like outfit of the day. And I'm not saying that inspiration doesn't help people, but, you know, there's a lot of that out there. So think about, you know, what am I doing, and how is it different, and how is this going to help others, and how is this going to fit a need that maybe isn't out there? Because and think about, like, what in your life are you seeking that maybe isn't around for you? For Alexis and I, it was like-minded women and just the space to grow and talk these issues out. And, you know, we found that in our business because, excuse me, you know, your business often grows out of your greatest need and the world's greatest need. So that is kind of something to think about if you're like, I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start. It really can be organic.
Okay, so something else I want to say about that, that also came up with that, is the issue, I wrote this down in case I forgot, the issue of feeling bad about competition, okay? So this is something that when you're thinking about your business and you're looking around and you may see other people doing similar things as you, if you still have the passion to do it, you should definitely still do it. I know, like, Lisa Marie and I just happened to found each other, and both of us have a very similar business in so many different ways, but we do the same thing. I say we do the same thing 2 different ways. Like, we just do it 2 different ways. So, like, we both sell, like, planner supplies, stickers, and things like that. Is she my competition? Maybe a little bit, but there's no reason to think of that as being a negative. You should always be taking that and thinking, okay, this person's doing a great job. That's awesome. I'm going to do a great job too. You don't need to feel like because there's other people doing something that you shouldn't be doing it. You don't need to feel like, other people are, you don't have to feel competitive. And I'll say that there are so many people out there, no matter what your business is that you want to do. For example, there's so many people who make planner inserts, right? I make planner inserts. Do I get upset when I see other people make planner inserts? No. Answer, no. You want to know why? Because there's so many people out there who need planner inserts, and everybody is different. So I know when I see someone else's planner inserts that look totally nothing like mine, I think to myself, it's great to have more in this space, because more people talking about the products that I sell means that they're creating communities that will maybe one day find my community as well, and maybe some of those people will find my inserts and want to buy them. And the same thing with my people. If my inserts aren't working for you, I hope that someone would go somewhere else and find another person whose inserts work for them. There's no reason why there can't be a ton of us doing this, right? Think about, like, around the world, there are so many places where, like, how many plumbers are there out in the world? How many electricians are there out in the world? You don't stop and say, I'm not going to start a new business because there's another one of these in existence. There are so many people. There's more business out there than any one person could handle, right? There's just so much business out there. So don't feel like you can't start a business because someone else does. And don't feel like you have to feel bad or protective, or you have to feel like you're competing against people, because you're not. If you approach it with a mentality of community, like we're all doing the same things in different ways, let me tell you, there's no fail on that. And I will say, if you start a business and it's like very similar to somebody else's, you want to make sure, the only watch out with that is you want to make sure that your business is unique to you, right? You don't want to copy someone else's business. You will be successful so long as you are being true to you. Like, you will be successful so long as you are doing something that has your specific spin on it and has your aesthetic on it and has your point of view built into it. So as long as you are doing, even if it's the same thing a million other people are doing, if you have your spin on it, you will always be successful, and you will always be an original, because no one can replace that spin that you have. And it really is so true. Like, this is something that you may have heard a million times before, and take it from me, this was something I heard and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I believe that. Oh, I so believe it now. I so believe it now, because really, that really is true. And if you're just focusing on yourself and doing the best that you can do, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. There's enough fish in the sea. There is enough people out there to be buying from all these different places. I'm not naive enough to think that the people who have purchased in my shop haven't purchased in other shops. People, this is like, commercialism, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are in an economy where a lot of people like to buy different things. Just because they tried one thing doesn't mean they can't try another. There is so much business out there, it's not even funny. You will, as long as you are being consistent, trying your best, putting out the best quality of content and products that you can, and being true to yourself, that is the only thing that matters. That is really the only thing that matters. There's no way you can't be successful with that formula.
Yeah, Alexis, completely agree. And something that else we've talked about is, we see the negativity on YouTube. We all see that. And just remember, the strong women are building people up. They're not tearing people down. I am not for 1 minute worried about anyone coming in and knocking off my business. If someone wants to, tomorrow make an Instagram account showing all similar things as me, be my guest, because a copycat will never outshine an original. So don't worry that your content's going to get knocked up. Wow. Knocked off. Different.
My inserts are going to get pregnant.
And a funny thing that happened with Alexis and I, where the Glampire came out of, is Alexis was launching her empire building, and I was launching my Glampire which is going to be, I haven't announced it yet because I really don't want to announce anything until I know like a timeline, but I've been working on my Glampire home decor line and also a new set of like the Glambition stickers. I also have the Glampire stickers. And so I was like, Alexis, like this is so crazy that we're talking about the same thing. And I don't want, when you release your Glampire Project Life cards or journaling cards, I don't want you to think that like I knocked yours off, because like let me show you in InDesign, and like for 1 minute, you know, she was never worried that, you know.
Absolutely. They don't look, it's the funny thing is they don't look anything the same. And let's like, I told Lisa Marie, she's so lucky, she's got one of those words, glam. She can just put it in front of any word and all of a sudden she's like branded it for her, right? So I can't do that with charmed pyre. I don't know. So it doesn't work the same way. But yeah, it's like we're doing the same thing, right? We both have journaling cards, right? We both, you know, have this concept that we want to build an empire. I just feel like it's like we're doing it with our own style, right? So Lisa Marie has her clear style. I have my clear style. People could want both of our stuff, and that's the beauty. People do want both of our stuff, right? You could get shopped in my shop and her shop, and it's just the more the merrier, you know what I'm saying? As long as you have your unique view and your unique take on it and things that you're doing that are unique, you know, make sure that that's where you're coming from, a real place of authenticity, then you will have no problem. You will have no problem. And there's plenty of people out there, we've all seen them, copycats. I don't even give them the time of day. You know what I'm saying? Because they will, like Lisa Marie said, they'll never outshine an original. So many people, and this happened to me, this happened to Lisa Marie, someone else posts something that looks incredibly similar to something that we do, and guess what? Our people see it and go, oh, look, that looks just like something Alexis did, or look, that looks just like something Lisa Marie did. So we don't even have to police it very much. Like, our people are not, like, our community is not dumb. Like, you can't pull one over on my community. Like, they know what's up. So, you know, these are things you don't really have to worry about it. Just be authentic. There's, like, no reason why you can't come up with your own ideas, your own style. You can do similar things to someone else, but you have to do it your own way, and you'll have no problems, like no problem whatsoever.
And that's the beauty of building community, right? Because when you're living authentically and your life's message is, you know, coming out of your passion, you will, you know, I call you guys my glam fam because you really are like, you know, my family. I know you've got my back, and I know that, you know, you support me, and that means the world, and it keeps me going. And Alexis has the same. And, you know, a lot of I know, like Melissa, you found Alexis through me, and I know there's lots of you who have found me through Alexis, and, you know, we all win together. You know, there's like literally no spirit of competition in either of us, because Alexis is like my personal trainer for my business, you know. So definitely find someone like that, and, you know, walk through life together, because everything is better when you're living in community. Whether you're building a community, whether you're building a business, whether you're just doing life, everything is better when you live in community. And when you start to, you know, and a community can be 5 people, right? Like, don't think you have to have, you know, some crazy numbers, and don't worry about the numbers. I would rather have 10 engaged people that care about me and care about my content, and I know them, than 10,000 that, you know, clicked on my link because I put some outrageous picture up, you know. So don't worry about numbers. Worry about creating something that is authentic and is true to your heart, and, you know, the community will find itself. And when, you know, you do meet up with those people, you know, like, there's going to be no stopping you.
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to move into the Q&A now, Lisa Marie. I just saw a question here that I wanted to address. Ina said, my fear is having irrelevant ideas, either that no one would want my products or that they won't be the same quality I imagine in my head, if that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. So obviously, like, if you're bringing out new products, right, you want to test the market, right? If you think they're awesome, like, I firmly believe that if you think they're awesome, oh, someone else will think they're awesome too. That's, like, firmly my belief, right? So I really do think that it's about connecting with people, right? So if someone connects with you, they'll probably connect with your products as well. Like, that's just the truth of it. So, you know, obviously there's different things you can do. You can, you know, you can, like, talk to people, send people, like, samples, find out, get feedback before you go to market with a product. But like Lisa Marie said, like, you want to build a business, solve a problem. If your product is solving something, if it's producing something new, if it's producing something in a new way or with a unique spin, there's no way it'll be irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you love it, there's a really high chance that other people are going to love it too, right? So that's just the absolute truth. So I hope that answers your question, Ina.
Yeah, thank you for addressing that one. I wrote that we were going to get to that, and it's kind of hard to talk and read at the same time. So, yeah, definitely. We're at about an hour and 15 minutes, so we do want to take any comments from those of you who attended live. We're so grateful that you took the time out of your day to hang out with us, and yeah, we're here as a resource. So let the questions fly, and we'll get to as many as we can in probably the next like 10, 15 minutes here. I'm not sure when we want to call it a wrap.
Yeah, just throw out questions and we'll let you guys know how we feel.
Yeah, so any tips on getting people to follow your Facebook business page? So this is a comment, this kind of hits at a point that Alexis and I are both very passionate about. You want to be very careful that whatever you're doing to grow a community or grow a following doesn't come off as spam. We get hundreds of comments and emails like, check out my blog, check out my Instagram, can you look at this post? And it's like, love your videos, and then like asks us for something. And I don't mind anyone asking me for something, but after a while, like, it all becomes noise. So something that Gary Vee talks a lot about, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's here on YouTube, and he's awesome, is he always says, pull, don't push. So, you won't ever hear me say, like on my blog, I'm trying to think of something that'd be really spammy. Just, like I wouldn't put on my Instagram, like, follow me on Facebook, like, every day, because that's spammy. Like, no one wants to see that. That's not adding quality. So if you're putting out quality content and it's helping people and you're letting your audience know that the page is there, right? I'm not saying never talk about it. Let people know that it's there, right? Marketing is not bad. Self-promotion is not bad. You can't create a space if you don't tell anyone that it exists. But just there's a very fine line between, getting the word out and spamming your community. So as far as getting people to like your Facebook page, there's really practical ways of going about that. You can say, and I don't know what business you have too, so that would probably be a little bit helpful. Sometimes for giveaways, I will give things away from the Facebook page, so I won't necessarily say, like the page to get whatever. I will just I'll do the giveaway from the Facebook page. And I have other reasons for doing that too. But, if you're creating content and it's helpful, your other channels are going to naturally get traffic. Like that's just an organic pull. But there's nothing more unattractive than kind of feeling like you're getting spammed by someone. And it's definitely a turnoff, and it's a turnoff. Like it's kind of like in dating, like you never really want to be with a guy who's like all about you in the beginning. Don't pull like the 17-year-old guy move where like you like try to close the deal too soon. You got to kind of build people's respect and kind of gain your credibility. Like what value are you adding, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, definitely. Just really quickly, to sum up that with me. Number one, create good content on that Facebook page. Give people a reason to come and to come back. So definitely creating good content on that Facebook page is so important. Sharing important, helpful things on that Facebook page is so important. The second thing I would say is to go to other people's Facebook pages and be engaged and leave helpful comments. Don't spam them and say, go to my Facebook page. But leave them helpful comments, be encouraging, leave them messages, let them know that you're there supporting their community. And what's going to happen is you are going to naturally rise to the top that way. People are going to see, I see the same name that's always commenting on the post that X puts on her Facebook page. I'm going to click on that person and find out some bit about them. So they're going to click on you, and then they're going to see that you've got a Facebook page. So that is how you naturally grow those things without being spammy. Be helpful, produce good content. So I hope that answers your question for you guys. Then I see another question in here. Where did it go? How do you approach someone to guest blog? Okay, so obviously, how do you approach someone? You're going to want to send them an email. Like, connect with them, right? Either send them an email or connect with them on social media. But again, you don't, chances are, if this person has never heard from you before, they're going to be like, they may be questioning whether or not they should have you guest post or do a guest post for you, or, vice versa. If you're looking for someone to post on your site, or if you're looking to post on someone else's site. So make sure that you are actively engaging with that person for a while before you ask them, right? Tweet at them, retweet their stuff, like their Instagram pictures, comment on their blog posts, comment on their YouTube videos. You don't have to be like a stalker, but I will tell you this, that for someone like me, I've got like nearly 20,000 subscribers. Lisa Marie's at like 15,000 on YouTube. I get like 30,000 unique views, 30 to 50,000 unique viewers a month on my blog. I know the people who are constantly commenting. I've got people who do constantly comment. Those names come to the top. They rise to the top for me. I recognize the names that I see over and over and over and over again. It's just natural. The people who are leaving me great, insightful comments, I remember who you are. Like, I remember you. So make sure you're engaging with the person that you're going to ask ahead of time, okay? Make sure you're engaging with them, because then when your email pops in, they'll recognize your name and then go, oh yeah, I know that person. They leave nice comments and they follow me on all my social media and they're always retweeting and they seem nice. So yeah, I'll be more inclined to want to help them or do the guest post or let them guest post. That's how you get a guest post.
Absolutely. That is such a good point, Alexis. And, you know, the Bible says, be humble and be interested in others. And that is such a good principle for all of life. That will carry you so far. You know, be interested in what other people are doing. And Alexis and I get countless emails that's like, love your blog, and then like, will you do this for me? You know, and we probably get, what, like 20, 30 of those a day. And it's like, it's very clear that it's not genuine. And you know, like, but if Nicole sends me an email, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, hey Nicole, how is the weather in Orange County? And thank you so much for your order. Like, I hope you like your sweatshirt. You know, that's immediately going to strike a chord with me. Same with Amy. I'm going to say, are you still freezing your butt off in Chicago? And, you know, same with Melissa. I know you guys, you know, I know about your lives. I know about Melissa's son. And, you know, you will build relationships. That should really be your end game. And my mom always used to say, you know, the best thing I can teach you about business is if people like you, they'll do things for you. And I'm not saying to be disingenuous and, you know, comment on a bunch of someone's blog posts because you need something. But if people know you're coming from the right place, then the next steps are easy, because, you know, you're all you're here to support one another, and that's going to take you far and open a lot of doors for you.
And same thing goes, Julie just asked if you want someone to check out your products, how do you approach them? Same thing, you need to be engaging with them. You know, if you're sending someone an email out of left field about your products better be really awesome and something that you really think this person would love, if you think that they're going to accept that offer, whether it's, you know, free products or offering them a discount or whatnot. I mean, obviously, if you're approaching someone, you don't, like if someone was approaching me and was saying like, oh, I've got these products I want you to check out, I mean, I would expect that they are probably going to be offering to send them to me, and you know, and then it's up to me to decide if that's something that I do want to accept or not. But you know, you definitely want to have a relationship with those people. Like Lisa Marie and I, like she said, we get so many emails from all different companies who want us to review this, that, or the other product, who want us to promote something for them, who want to blog, you know, who want to do a guest post or want us to guest post or whatnot. If I don't know who you are, I'm not going to accept that, because you haven't taken the time to learn about me. You know, I will do a ton more for people that I know are in my community and active in my community than I would ever think to do for like some random brand that just sent out a mass email to like 1,000 different, you know, bloggers. So build the relationships. That's what you have to do. You have to talk to people. It may take a few weeks, you know, before you're able to approach them about the subject, but that's what you have to do. You kind of have to court people, and don't be disingenuous. You know, obviously, if you want to send this person a product of yours, you obviously like them, right? So why aren't you active in their community to the point where they know you already? So that's you know, you want to make sure that that's what you're doing, that you're adding value to their community, helping to promote them, you know, being active, just showing up and leaving comments and just saying, I liked this video, great job. Like, that's all you need to do. People will start to recognize your name. And, you know, or at least I will say, maybe not everybody will, right? We all know that there are some YouTubers out there who, like, could care less about their comment sections. Definitely the same thing with bloggers, right? But if the person is worth their salt, right, who is totally worth it to work with, they're the kind of person who, like Lisa Marie and I, are always looking at our comments and our messages and things like that, and we are interacting, right? So you want to make sure that this person is worth giving something to, right? So make sure you're leaving comments, and if they're interacting with you, then clearly it's going to be a two-way relationship. It's much more likely that they'll be wanting to work with you on something that you've got going on.
Yeah, and build long-term relationships too. Don't be short-sighted with it. When you reach out to someone, make it someone that you ultimately would love to have a long-term working friendship with, and you know, you can eventually when you get to a point, I'll use Erin Condren for an example. You know, I've been supporting the Erin Condren brand. You guys know a lot of you connected with me that way. And now when Erin Condren releases something, you know, they send it to me because they know that I genuinely love their brand. I love that they're about giving back, and you know, I'm going to show it to my community because I believe in it, and I believe in their brand, and I believe in the way that they build their own community and take care of their own community, and the way that they do their business. I'm a fan all the way around, and you know, they're a great model for how I believe that we should be promoting ourselves, you know, really community first and thinking long term, because that's going to investing in one person and being active in their community and creating a long-term relationship is going to get you so much further than like sending 100 emails to, you know, various bloggers.
Yeah. Absolutely, for sure. And I feel like a lot of these questions that we're getting, I feel like we're going to be giving you guys the same answer. I'm seeing another question that someone's asking. I'm doing networking, I guess, for an online wedding luxury wedding stationery company. How do you get the word out there? How do you get people to talk about the company? If the company is creating great products and you're developing relationships for them with key players, like people that are in that wedding industry, right? It's all about creating valuable content, being helpful, and being engaged and being active in someone's community, right? That's how you get people to spread the word, because people are more naturally, obviously, people want to share awesome things. People always want to share awesome things. That's like principle number one. People love being the person that shared the cool thing on their Instagram, on their Twitter, on their Facebook, on their blog. Everyone wants people to look at them and say, that person shares cool stuff. Right? So if you are creating cool content that's shareable, like give people things to share. You want to be able to be producing things that people want to be sharing with other people. For example, you know, and Lisa Marie does this as well. We have some, you know, I do that free insert that I do every month, right? Every month I put out a free planner insert for my community for the month. That's something free I do so that you guys can share. It's something shareable. It's something I'm giving to you guys. I'm giving away. I'm adding value to your life on a regular basis. And this is something that, you know, people are excited to share. So a lot of people tweet about it, you know, and share it in different Facebook groups and things like that. These things, it's sort of natural marketing, right? When you're doing something that's awesome, people want it and people want in on it. And when you are taking the time to make someone feel special and let them know that you're there and you appreciate what they're doing, that goes such a long way. Think about it right now for anyone out there who's starting a business. If someone just came up to you, let's like imagine you posted your first blog post, right? And someone came up to you and said, you're doing such a great job. I bet you would love that person. Like you would love that person, right? Same thing with like people like Lisa Marie and I and people who, you know, who've been doing this for a while. Even if I have big communities, we love hearing that we're doing the great thing. We love hearing that you guys love what we're doing. So, you know, connecting with people is never a bad idea. A lot of these questions, the answer is create good content, be consistent, and, you know, reach out to people genuinely, like be authentic.
Yeah, and just to kind of really practically apply it. So one of the comments, and of course I can't quite find it now, is that, let's see, Janie USA is working for a luxury wedding stationery company, and how does she go about getting the word out? So
yeah, that's the one I just answered.
Right, but practically applying that is, if it were me, first off, I would be reading all of the trade publications, right? So I don't know a ton about the wedding industry, but I'm sure there's like Bride Magazine and, you know, a lot of magazines, and I would be seeing who is active in that community. Who do I see, whose name do I see pop up on like this blog and that magazine, you know, and kind of getting a great grasp on that community, what the trends are, you know, keep a notebook, what are the trends, and then kind of try to stay ahead of that. And like Alexis said, if you are on trend and you are helping people, the sky's the limit. So really practically, like, immerse yourself in the community and start building those relationships. And like Alexis said, you know, it's almost like the same answer, but like in a lot of kind of different ways. So I want to make sure that we're giving you practical application. But, you know, the first thing you want to do is like subscribe to whatever business you're trying to get into, subscribe to some blogs, order some magazines if, you know, that's financially feasible. But the internet is free, right? Immerse yourself in that industry.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Build relationships immediately. I mean, it's a given.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also say too, if you're just starting out, you can't necessarily expect that like big name wedding industry people are going to want to work with you. Work your way up, right? So start with like just a small wedding blog, and connect with them. It's always easier when you're dealing with a brand that's smaller. And I don't know how big your wedding, luxury stationery company is, so I apologize. But like if you're just getting started and you're saying that there's not a lot of people talking about them and you're trying to get the buzz out, you're going to need to start small, right? You're going to have to reach out to bloggers that are more accessible to you, right? I wouldn't expect that like Martha Stewart Living, you could just email them and then they would necessarily, want to, feature you guys. But if you reach out to a small-time blogger, wedding blogger, that's definitely something that's more feasible. And when you are reaching out to them, I would say, remember that these people who are creating content for these outlets, like these blogs and YouTube channels and even Instagram accounts and Facebook pages, people who are content creators like Lisa Marie and I, we're always looking for content, new content. Like we always have a lot of ideas, but people are also looking for new content. They want their job to be easy. So if you come to someone with some sort of offer that's like, this is like a ready-made offer for great content, that's going to be way more of a priority for them than just like asking them to do something for you. So if you're saying, oh, can I write a guest post about these for you? So it's taking work off of their plates, right? So if you give them something that's awesome to share, that they don't have to do a lot of work, they're more likely to want to help you. Okay, so that would be my tip for that as well.
Absolutely. Always make sure in whatever you're trying to accomplish that you're respecting people's time. Emails are like out of control these days, and I feel like sometimes we don't always have the best email etiquette, and so just try to think about what value am I adding to this person, because there's a lot of emails going out that are pushes, right? That great blog, will you review this product, or will you write this guest post? And Alexis makes a great point. You want to look at it, okay, if I'm sitting in their shoes and they're getting 15 of these emails a day, how can I set myself apart and add value to them? Again, be interested in others, be interested in their community. So, Alexis, I saw a really great question in the comments, and I'm sure you're catching up, about sourcing products, and that is like, we're kind of in an hour and a half mark, and that is such a great question, but, that's definitely something I have had a lot of experience in this year, and I'd love to delve into detail, but I know, we're kind of really up on time now, so I don't know kind of what your thoughts are or what the comments are.
I guess we should probably I think maybe winding down right now would be a good idea. For sure, because it is the hour and a half mark, guys. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I think we are going to table this. Definitely, if you guys would like to continue the conversation, feel free to tweet these questions, with the Glampire Chat, and include like me and Lisa Marie in there, and I'll take a look and see if there's any that are people that I can just answer some questions after this conversation, and like when I have time a little bit later, for sure. But remember, we're going to be doing this again next month, so this is not the only opportunity for you to contact us. So really great questions. I'm so glad that so many of you were able to come. But yeah, this has been a nice, great chat, and I hope you guys have gotten something out of this. For sure, let us know. Like, obviously, I want feedback on this. Lisa Marie wants feedback. Did you guys love this? Do you want us to keep doing this? Is this something that's going to be worth our time? Because it's another thing, we try new things, right? We're trying something new, and obviously if we came on and two people were on and this became a conversation that was just me and Lisa Marie, then obviously we'd think maybe this was not a successful attempt at adding value to our community. But if this was valuable, you have to let us know so we keep doing it, and give us some more ideas for topics that you want us to cover. Make it easy for us to want to come on here and talk to you guys and know what to talk about, because we have all this so much knowledge in our heads. Like Lisa Marie could talk about a whole bunch of different topics with products and sourcing, and I could talk about a whole bunch of stuff with designing and digital products too. And it's just like we have so much knowledge. We need to know what you guys need to know. So definitely continue to talk with us, continue to reach out. Leave us, I would say for sure, just start tweeting us with the Glampire Chat hashtag, so that we can kind of go through and catch up on some questions that were lingering. But thank you guys so much for being here. Lisa Marie, you want to say goodbye to people?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Alexis, though I know that we probably can't physically respond to every single tweet or every single Instagram, I read every single email, I read every single comment, I read every single tweet, and so does Alexis. So definitely, if you have a question, you wake up at 3 in the morning, tomorrow night, tweet us. Like, we will get to it. Like, if this is adding value, we're going to be here doing the Glampire Chat, as long as, it's helpful for you guys, because we really want to share, and we want this to be a resource that we feel is really unique out there. We don't see anyone kind of offering free business advice, the first Wednesday of the month, and grab your coffee and let's get to it. And so we want to be that resource, and we can't do it without you. So we just thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you so much we know you could be anywhere right now, but you chose to spend your evening with us, or your very early morning with us. So thank you so much for joining, and for everything you've done to support our communities, because we wouldn't be charmed and glam without you guys. So don't think that we've ever lost sight of that.
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. And make sure you check out the description box as well. We're going to have some specific, links and things like that down below, because this is going to be on both of our channels. Make sure you hop on and check out both of our description boxes for anything that we think you guys should pay attention to that's coming up. So, yeah, definitely, I'm so glad you guys had some fun, and I loved doing this. I hope we have another chat soon. So thank you guys so much for coming, and we will see you next time.
Love you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.